Hey, this is Ross Harrison for Precision Health and Fitness, and I'm back with another video. So, things are starting to open up, and who knows when gyms will really get going, but I'm sort of shifting gears, and I'm going to just start showing you stuff that really, regardless if you're going to the gym or doing other training or not, this is still stuff you can do at home that will greatly improve your workout, your health, all kinds of stuff. Um, so the next couple videos at least, I'm doing some advanced core training. And first, just a little bit, I am gonna have one exercise after I tell you a little bit about what this is. Um, because advanced, a lot of people hear advanced, they think, oh, that's really hard. Like, I have to lift a ton of weight, or, I need to be able to bench twice my body weight before I can attempt this crazy exercise, or whatever. But that's not what I mean by advanced. For me, advanced exercise means more neurologically advanced, as in your brain has to work, your muscles are going to work also, but this isn't, even if you are just starting or can't lift a lot of weight, um, these are advanced, but you can still do them. So these are advanced exercises for everybody. And the great thing about these is you can adjust the difficulty by making minor modifications in the movements. So I have three exercises in mind I'm going to start with. I'm going to show one today and probably two in the next video. Um, these are all exercises I came up with. And these are ones I use with my clients. Obviously, I try them out on myself first, but these three, the three that I have in mind, are ones I don't know, I came up with somewhere between 10 and 20 years ago. And I've been using them ever since, and people love them. I'm sure there's other people doing these. I'm not going to say I'm the first person ever to come up with these, but I typically don't encounter other people doing these. And one of my favorite things about them is, as I said, they are, whether people are beginners or advanced, I've used these with every one of my clients. And it's not like we do them every day, but these are things that even as people progress, they don't outgrow these. At least I've never worked with anybody who does. Um, and another thing that goes with these is, and this is counterintuitive, but the better you get at them, realistically, the fewer number you're going to be able to do. And I know that sort of goes in the face of conventional training where you think like, oh, push-ups, they're getting easier. I used to be able to do 5, now I can do 10, now I can do 20, whatever. These don't work that way. And a lot of core training really shouldn't work that way if you're really challenging your muscles. And typically, the issue with core and why there are so many approaches to core training, and some of the most basic ones are just, well, work the muscle really hard, work your whole body at the same time. And as long as your core gets tired, then it's doing its job. But really, a lot of times, other muscles fatigue before your core muscles really have maxed out on what they can do. And also, core muscles aren't supposed to be trained like, biceps or something that just moves one joint in one direction and it's a prime mover. Your core mostly stabilizes. I mean, it does move your spine some, but it mostly stabilizes, so it needs to be trained differently. So just a little bit more, and this is sort of a very important piece. As you get better with core training, your control, the how in tune you are with your core muscles, how they react on their own without you having to tell them what to do, all that stuff improves to the point where when you say, I want to contract this part of my core, it contracts. And it doesn't contract your hip flexors and your shoulders and your neck and all these other things like may actually happen when you start doing these exercises. But over time, you'll notice that the other muscles you feel start decreasing and the intensity you feel in your core starts increasing. So you can do less. Probably somewhere between 20 and 25 years ago, I heard a person say, yeah, people would always come to me, and he's a, I don't know, I guess fairly well known sort of rehab slash sports performance kind of guy. I'm assuming he's still doing stuff, but anyway, I learned a lot of stuff from him. And he's like, yeah, people would come in, and he's like, anytime I ran into somebody where they said, yeah, they do 100 or 200 or 1,000 crunches every day, he thought, man, they must not be very good at doing crunches. And he would bring them in and do a particular kind of crunch with them, and he's like, yeah, they'd never get to 15. Doesn't matter how many they do every day, but and that's sort of the point, is if you really are in touch with your core muscles and you can contract them consciously, you don't need to do 100 crunches every day. You can do 10 or 20 and your muscles will be as or more tired than if you're sitting there doing 100 crunches. And so these exercises all help develop that kind of fine-tuned control, strength, pretty much everything. It just teaches your core to work well. So, okay, and these are a little different. Like, I came up with them because I wanted some variations on some traditional stuff, and I wanted some things to challenge my clients a little differently than just move your body in a linear way and do the same thing, or like be in a machine and do this or do this. So there are some odd movement qualities. This first one I call leg circles, because literally you're making a circle with your legs and laying on your back. I'll probably be looking towards the camera, but if I was doing this for real, I would just have my head down and be looking straight up. And so with all of these, this is important. This is important for any low ab core exercise. The start position is not the ground. You don't want to start with your legs flat on the ground and lift both your legs. It's that point where your legs are just on the ground and you just lift with both legs, and puts a ton of stress on your back. So if you are going to be doing something where you're lifting your legs, it's best to bend both knees, lift one leg, and lift the other leg. Very little stresses on the back. When one leg's down, it's protecting your back. When the other leg comes up and your knee is like over your hip, that helps keep your back flat. So when you lift the other one, you have very little stress on your spine. And I always tell people the up position is the start for any of these kind of exercises. And so here's your first difficulty adjuster. Actually, I guess I'll show the exercise first. You're literally just moving your legs in a circle. And I have people go both directions. I have noticed that when people start, I'll give you a little different angle here. So it's just, whoops, head down. Legs are going to the side, coming to the top, going around. And if you'll notice, my upper body's not moving that much. So it's not like I want to move my legs so far to one side where my shoulders start rolling or anything like that. My back stays pretty flat. And the other part, there's a lot to this, that's why they're advanced. The motion, typically I'll give you all the things people typically do. So one, when they start moving their legs, they become typically very fixated on trying to create like a perfect circle in the air. The circle doesn't matter. It's just a general concept of you're trying to move your feet away from center and come down and come up on the other side. And typically I have people do 2 sets, one set going one way, the other set going the other way. You can also do, every time you get to the top, you change direction. I used a number of variations. But you should feel your low abs. So typically, like in up position, your back should be totally flat. Your low back, you should feel it pushing into the ground. As your leg comes to the side, around here, you'll start to feel like your back wants to lift. And that's when I'm at or a little past the outside of my circle. If that's happening at the top, it means you're not going to go that far. And that's fine. That's one of the difficulty adjusters, the 2 major ones. The lower your circle goes, the harder it's going to be, and also naturally the bigger your circle is. So like when you're starting, if just moving at all feels tough to keep your back flat, you can just keep your legs up here and just do, here, I'll move this again, and just do like a little circle, and that's fine. And as you get better, your circle will get bigger and it will keep getting bigger. But then you can also increase the difficulty by keeping it low and making it smaller again. And the lower your feet are to the ground, the harder it's going to be. And coming up really at the top just gives you a little break. So if you lower the top position, even if you keep the bottom position the same, if you lower the top position, that's going to make it harder. So there's tons of ways you can cheat, and if you've never done anything like this before, you're going to, and that's okay. But just know that low ab, you should feel low abs much more than anything else. If you feel strain in your back, you're going too low. Another thing you may feel is when your legs come down, your head may start wanting to come off the ground. Also a sign that you're going too low or not engaging your abs enough. But so here's the thing. When you're going to the side, we'll just break it down into parts. This part is just sort of, you're sort of relaxing and you're letting your legs go where you want to, keeping your abs tight. Once you start coming back to the middle, it should be getting much tougher. And this is one exercises where I will actually allow a little curve in the low back. You won't be able to keep it totally flat. A lot of the exercises I teach, keeping the back totally flat the whole time is a foundational element. And once that doesn't happen, that's the end range or that's the last rep. With this one, there's a little more leeway. So like right here for me, I can't keep my low back against the ground anymore. I can keep my head down and just lifting it to speed. So this is bad form, don't do this. But then at this point, I'm still gonna try to push my back down. It's not gonna stay down, but I'm gonna keep it as close to down as I can. And that's also gonna intensify what I feel here. And then I'm gonna keep that going through here. Once I get about halfway to the top, then I can reflatten fully and keep that engaged all the way to the top. The simplest cheat that most people have, they just let gravity bring their legs down and then sort of swing it to the other side. This exercise doesn't work if there's momentum. If you don't feel your muscles tensing and in different ways throughout the whole circle, you're not getting the maximum benefit. Doesn't mean you're not getting any. And at first, I don't think I've ever worked with anybody who really got a full contraction all the way through. If you've done a lot of core training and you really know how to engage your muscles well, you very well may. A lot of the people I work with don't consciously use their core, at least until after working with me. So, but this exercise makes your core work a lot. And initially, you'll probably notice, especially if you go low, that there is sort of a sweet spot where it feels like it's hard enough that you can feel something solid, but not too hard that you're straining and feeling like, if you start feeling your neck muscles getting tight or your head pulling off the ground, or that you're like having a weird momentum loop, or that your back's curving a lot. One of the ways you see this, even if you're controlling it, if you come down here and you'll see people's back come up here and then they'll push down and get sort of a slingshot going around the other side. Again, it's, and that's why, and typically when people try to make a perfect circle, they actually tense the wrong muscles because they start tensing muscles to try to alter the arc of their legs instead of focusing on the abs. The abs are always the primary concern with this exercise, and feeling as little else as possible. So that's pretty much it. And there's, I've spoken a lot, I've given a lot of different things, and it is important to do it both ways. I'd say about 90% of the people that I work with, or have worked with, just instinctually always start with the easier side. And it doesn't matter that much, but if you do the second side and you find that it's a lot harder, you may want to start with the harder side first on the next time you do it, because it's just one of those things. We like to do the easiest thing, and even if it's something you've never done before, your body probably knows which way is going to be easier and it's going to start with it. For ideally, it's not going to feel that much different on regardless of which way you go. That's sort of just one of the ways I use to see if there's different weaknesses or imbalances. But that's the leg circle, and it looks simple. It very much is not. And there's always a position, a range that is right for you. There's no, I should be doing this big circle, or I should be getting this low. that stuff you just can't have in your head, because if you try to go to a point, I can almost guarantee that the exercise will not be very good for you. It'll probably overstress your back, and you just may not feel your abs. So to keep it simple, really just feel your abs. If you feel your abs more than any, especially significantly more than anything else, you're doing a good job. Over time, you'll get a lot more range, you'll get more control, you'll really feel the different points in the curve. And all those things are also, it's a great barometer for how much control you have over your low abs. So that's it. Little bit about some of my advanced exercises, what they mean to me, and that's the leg circle. Next video, I don't know. I actually forgot which two exercises I'm thinking about doing, but there are two other ones that I came up with a long time ago, and I hope you enjoy. So try this one out. Let me know how it goes. If you have any questions or it doesn't feel right, definitely give me an email or something, and I will give you some tips. So hope you enjoy and have a great day, and I'll be back next week.